Hello everyone, and welcome to another beer review. Now today I'm doing a Wednesday video, and if you're not sure what that actually means, it means that I'm doing a beer that potentially is a bit risky. Potentially it could be really nice, it could be really enjoyable, or it could be absolutely dreadful. So, under the new house rules for this year 2025, I've got the beer here, I'll show you in a minute, but I also have a backup, so if it turns out to be a load of rubbish, then the whiskey of choice today is Auchentoshan, which is a nice single malt lowland whiskey, and it's been aged in American oak. So there you go, first and second fill bourbon cask, so there you go. And it's a nice 40%. It's actually quite an easy drinking one. So it is. So that's what we'll be having if this beer turns out to be rubbish. But what is the beer? Well, the beer today, is from the Cairngorm brewery, and it's Trade Winds. It's citrus, wheat and elderflower. There you go. No backing out now, is there? Well, trust me, there still could be. But yes, it's 4.3%, 500ml bottle. I think it's roughly about just over £2, but I'll confirm all that. Trade Winds, light golden in colour with a high proportion of wheat, giving the beer a clean, fresh taste. The mash blends together with the pearl hops and elderflower, providing a bouquet of fruit and citrus flavours. And there you go. Nothing else, really. Anything else? No, just product of Scotland. But yeah, there you go. Bought in Asda. Seems to be a frequent haunt of mine right now. Oh God. Right, shall we crack it open? Oh, and see what we've got. Elderflower. I actually quite like elderflower. My dad used to make elderflower and elderberry wine. I know the elderflower wasn't too bad. The elderberry was rocket fuel, seriously. A few of my school friends can testify to that. There's one that can really testify to that, because Jesus God, did he get me into trouble? Well, I think we all got into trouble because of him and the wine, because he came round. It was the day before my grand's funeral. My parents were away up, just kind of dotting the I's and crossing the T's, just sorting out all the kind of last minute things and that type of stuff. Well, this was in Glasgow, and they were coming back down, so they left me for the day, and I had a friend round, and then met another friend, and they came round, and we started to sample some of the drink cabinet and some of the homebrew. He got wired into the absolute wine, got himself absolutely shit-faced, and spewed everywhere, all over the kitchen, spewed in his dad's car. In fact, it was so bad we had to get his dad to come and collect him, because there was no way he was getting back on his bike. He was absolutely shit-faced, paralytic. I actually remember phoning him the next day from the wake, my grand's wake, after the funeral, asking, how's things, how you feeling? Oh, rough. What happened, did you get it? Well, I don't think I've got it all yet. They gave me a bit of some, but then they could have realised that they were basically kind of shouting and screaming at, a drunk person, so I wasn't really kind of going in. So I'm going to probably get it tomorrow when I feel a bit better. But my dad knows you're lying. My dad doesn't believe what you were saying, the story you told him, because I said it's a case of we found him in that state already and just brought him back to my bit, so we could call. Self-preservation and all that. But yeah, so that's what I always remember about elderflower and elderberry wine. Yes, another reminder of me getting myself into trouble. Deep water. Right, there we go. So it's had a chance to settle. It's about kind of just over a half finger head. It's very light in colour, very clear, almost like a blonde ale. So it's like a cross between a blonde and a golden ale. Smell wise, maybe mostly hop. Again, you're not really getting much malt. Yeah, you're just getting little hints of floralness. That's all you're really getting. Maybe a little bit of grain, yeah, but that's it. Very light on the old aroma front. They said fruit. Was it fruit aroma or was it fruit flavours? I can't remember. I wasn't really paying attention. I was kind of losing hope. You know what I mean? I was ready to put my shoes on and head towards the door, you know. I was halfway through reading the description. Oh, it was a bouquet of fruit and citrus flavours. Not really getting citrus. Not really getting a fruit either. I'm getting a bit of bouquet though. A bit of hyacinth, as I say. Right, shall we see what this tastes like? Oh God. Right, Jesus. There's a mixed match of flavours there. Oh, the citrus is there. Oh yes, yes. Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah. Should have done that when I read the label. But I'll be fair, I'll give it a few more sips before I get into this, but I thought I might as well pour it, save a bit of time, you know. Oh, look at that. Oh, oh. Yeah, just a wee touch more. Just in case it could be a bad one. Wife says, you're just using that so you can get wired into the whiskey when you're doing your beer reviews. I'm like, no. It's a way to show people that at the end of the day, there is better options to crappy beer. If you can't get hold of good beer, and all you've got is crappy beer, then it's a wee bit gassy, that. Excuse me. Then there's whiskies and other options and things like that you can be enjoying and spending your hard-earned cash on instead of buying shitty, nasty beer. So let's give this another go. God. That is a bit over-carbonated in the old mouthfeel. With a heavy kind of citrus back end, from the kind of middle of the mid-tongue to the back end, it's kind of citrusy. Bordering on kind of grapefruit, a little bit of kind of piney kind of sourness at the back end. Not overly much, but still a bit there. And they think you're going to notice anything about the elderflower. But what I think what they're going to try and pass off as the elderflowers, there's a little bit of syrupy sweetness there. That, although it's not overly sweet, it's still sweet enough that it makes it kind of stand out amongst the kind of citrus flavours and grapefruit flavours and the kind of pininess. And I have a funny feeling this is what they're trying to pass off as the elderflower, because let's be totally honest, elderflower up against these type of flavour profiles, it's not going to stand up. It's nowhere near robust enough to stand up. So who are they kidding? You know what I mean? Excuse me, but I'm recovering from the cold actually, because this is a great thing. Youngest boy goes to college. Youngest boy picks up disease. Youngest boy comes back home and shares disease with wife. Wife gets disease. Wife now dying. Wife not in good state. Neither is youngest boy. Then, youngest boy gets better. Wife gets worse. Then wife gets better. Wife gets a lot better and back to normal. And then she decides to give it to me. So now Grape's diseased. Yeah. I wakes up with a sore throat thinking, that's known last night. But I really wasn't sure. So what do we do? So I had to take her in up to Glencoe and got basically walking up some of the kind of the hills around about Glencoe, you know. Next day, Graham wakes up. Oh yes, he's not well, absolutely. I think whatever basically last bit of kind of fight and energy was walked out of me the day before. So yes, so I'm kind of recovering from that. It's not too bad now, but I couldn't really do any reviews prior to that because I couldn't really taste anything apart from my own spit. And trust me, that was potent enough. But anyway, yeah, this idea of elderflower going into up against kind of strong citrus flavoured hops is just stupid. It really is. It just you know what I mean. It's like taking a meringue and dousing it in HP sauce and then eating it. And all you taste is HP sauce. You're not really tasting meringue apart from you're getting this extra bit of sweetness. That's it. I mean, that's what it kind of feels like. It feels like that type of kind of analogy. It's just stupid. It really does. It's like, oh God. And then, oh, there's hops, and and the elderflower, and oh, Jesus' hair wafting through it, and oh, it's so wonderful, and the corn plasters from his sandals, and and some shavings from his bunions, and and Eureka Johnston's, afterbirth is in there. Oh, gee, it's like, fuck off, seriously. Nonsense. It's like, you can just imagine these fuckers, reading Harry Potter and believing it's fucking true. Oh, life could be like that. If we just wanted to be, if we will it will be like that. Oh, you are a wizard, Laura. You are a wizard. You think, fuck off. Seriously. And it's like this nonsense. Fucking fairy tale pish. This industry is full of fairy tale pish and the angels share from the barrels and all that. Fucking nonsense. It's a license to print fucking money, and that's what it is. And every whiskey distillery owner that I've met, and I've met a few, have all said the same. We do all this kind of romantic fucking fairy tale pish because at the end of the day, make it mystical and everybody soaks it up, Jesus, they don't even smell the pish as it soaks into the sponge, you know what I mean? Unbelievable, because they want to believe it. That's why they do. So you tell them all this piss and it's all mystical and magical and all this type of bollocks, and it's not, it's just a license to print money. But this helps to kind of sell the product, makes it mystical, makes it special. It's not. It's fucking, what do you call it? Grain spirit. That's all it is. Rectified fucking grain spirit, shoved into barrels, drawing whatever flavours out of there. And here's the old thing, is they used to put packs of Ret in the barrels. Apparently it's illegal now, but of course there's ways around about that. But used to put packs of Ret in them. You'd put the barrels out for weathering and that type of stuff after they've been used. Because again, to try and get the flavour back into them. Well, if it's sherry cask, what flavour are you going to get back into them? You put them outside. So what they used to do was, down some packs of Ret, which is the kind of dregs from the sherry barrels. Put them out, let them weather for a few years and bring them back in, and suddenly they're all replenished with the lovely sherry flavours. Fuck knows how, all that kind of bollocks, So there's a lot of willy pish in this, and unfortunately, Scotland can't get away from the willy pish. They've always got to come out with some fucking fairy tale in their beer or whatever. Can't be arsed with it. Right, let's break these flavours down before I go into the whiskey. Right, there's a bit of soapiness there as well. Starts off with, there's really not much malt there. You get a slight syrupiness, you get a sweetness, and you get a bit of grain at the front of the mouth, really. But you can see, kind of dead on in the malt kind of stakes, isn't it? It's kind of dead. Moves out in the mid-tongue, and just a kind of slight repeat at the front of the mid-tongue, it's just a slight repeat of the front of the mouth, and then that's when the citrus starts to come in as you move towards the middle of the mid-tongue. And it just kind of ramps up till the kind of back of the mid-tongue. You do have the sweetness. Sweetness just slightly kind of grows a little bit, especially as the citrus comes round, because I think it kind of balances out some of that citrus. Problem is when it gets to the back of the mouth, that's when you start getting the pininess. So just as it transfers from the back of the mid-tongue into the back of the mouth and the aftertaste, that's when you start picking up also some kind of piney accents as well, which, trust me, isn't enjoyable. One good thing, it all kind of dissipates quite quickly, but you're not picking up any elderflower, but they'll claim that that kind of additional sweetness you get in the mid-tongue is actually, oh, that's the elderflower coming through. Because elderflower's full of fucking sugar. It's renowned for it. You know, it's a very subtle flavour. That's why they make fucking lemonade with it. Excuse me. Elderflower cordial and elderflower lemonade. And trust me, the reason they do that is so they don't have to put so much lemons in it. Because they're more expensive. You can go and pick elderflower for fuck all. The side of the road. So I'm calling it as I see it. There's nothing mystical or magical in my life. Bollocks. Right, anyway. Let's see what this is. Fucking toshing. A wee splash of water in there, you know. Oh, cheeky. There we go. A wee splash of water. See what it's like. Oh. Oh, it smells like the Jade Emperor's arsehole. Oh, it's definitely matching that. You can just imagine all that shit coming in, couldn't you? Yeah, nice enough whiskey. A bit kind of rough on the back end, that type of stuff, but yeah, fairly smooth and that type of stuff. There's a slightly hinty kind of smokish back end. Back end quite similar to Glenfiddich, but what it does is it doesn't have the kind of citrus or vanilla tones of Glenfiddich. One good thing, it doesn't have that overly kind of slightly sweet kind of sherry cask kind of flavour that a lot of the kind of lowland, well, if you look at a lot of lowland and a lot of kind of central belt blended Scotch have that kind of slight kind of sherry cask sweetness about it, you know. White Mackay is probably one of the big ones, but they all have, because they all share their blended whisky. I mean, if you take Bell's for example, Bell's has quite a lot of Grants in it, but Grants also, you know, talking about the blended stuff, also has quite a lot of Bell's in it. So the two of them kind of share slightly similar profiles. And the two main kind of sister profiles they have is this kind of sherry cask kind of sweetness that they have, you know. The only difference is that Grant's always seems to be a bit lighter on the back end, whereas with Bell's you get a little bit more earthiness at the back end. There you go, you see. But anyway, it's actually an alright whisky actually. And for the price of it, I think it's a bit more, around about the 20 quid, just over 20 quid mark. It's alright. I like it because there's a nice wee bit of smoothness in there, especially in the kind of mid part of it. It has a little bit of kind of balls at the end, but not too much. And the flavours is quite mellow, but the major thing is it just doesn't have this kind of, you know, especially when you add water to it. You add water to it, whiskey sweetens up. It's one of the reasons why we do it. And yeah, adding it to sometimes is the case is it can actually give you a kind of sweetness that you think it's kind of taking over some of the whiskey flavours, when this is how it shouldn't be. But yeah, one of the great things though, even when it is kind of mellow and, you know, kind of smooth, still takes a taste of this pish out my mouth. So it's a win-win every time. So, what would I give this out of 10? Fucking hell. It's also overly carbonated. That's the thing that kind of annoys me as well. But, you know, it's overly carbonated. It's just, it's just fairy tale pish in a bottle. Just utter nonsense. So, it's got the citrus to try and attract the craft fraternity. And we've got a bit of the elderflower and try to maybe with some of the one kind of mystical pish, you know, to try and kind of, you know, make it more attractive to the tourists. You know, they've got the saltire on it and all that type of stuff. And oh, look at that, and oh. And oh, it's which artist has done this? There's a image done by Scottish landscape artist Anne Vistano. All this type of stuff, you know. Oh, made by pixies and paedophiles. That's unbelievable. So, right, not my cup of tea. Overly carbonated. Flavour profiles, you can't really taste any malt. Has a kind of sweetness. It doesn't, especially in the mid tongue, it doesn't really feel attached because there's no real malt flavour to kind of go along with it. So there's no real connection because where's the sweetness coming from? You can't even taste the malt. The citrus, well, I don't like that particularly much. It's not even kind of a nice citrus flavour. It's slightly kind of pithy grapefruit flavour. Not my cup of tea, and a bit piney at the back end. Not overly piney, but piney enough just to think, oh God, can it get any worse? And no elderflower and wheatness. Well, the wheat, I think, is just because, hey, what did they use it for? Fucking filter, because that's all it is. I mean, it's just a case of, well, we use the wheat and we won't have to put so much malt in it, you know, so it saves us money and we can get a better profit margin when you're selling it to the plebs, the fuckwits and the tourists. So, out of that, what would I give it? 3. You know, not my cup of tea. I'm sure there's plenty of other people like it, and they're all probably far better, no beer's better than me anyway, so yeah, you go and enjoy it and clean your panties over it. I'd rather be ignorant than beer. Oh, that's nice, that's nice. It gets better every time I basically, you know, clear my palate. Oh, just lovely. But yes, yeah, 3 is all I can give it. I can use the bottle, so that gives it a point. And well, hey, I don't think it was overly expensive, so it gets a point for that. And hey, it's a beer colour, so it gets a point for that. You go, there's your 3 points, there you go. As for flavour, nah, I wouldn't give in for flavour. Would I recommend it? Not for me. If you're into these type of flavours, yeah, give it a go, you might like it. But don't expect to actually taste any elderflower in it, because how the hell can you when you've got all these kind of stronger flavours round about it? If you know anything about elderflower, then you're just kind of kidding yourself on if you actually think you're going to taste anything of it. So anyway, it's 3 out of 10. It's 500ml bottle. It's alcohol content of 4.3%. Roughly around about the £2 mark, but I'll cover the actual price down below once I actually look at the receipt. As I'm sitting here thinking, where did I put the receipt? Anyway, thanks for watching. Nearly forgot that. Cheers, and bye for now.